how much money does the doctor need to retire? How does real estate help to put them in that path?
All right, so that's almost the bucket pipeline theory, and this is actually in the book. Have y'all ever seen those commercials? I don't know who ran it, but it said, "What's your number?" Right, and people be carrying around their number, which is what they needed to retire.
Yeah.
I'm sure those exist. I just don't know how to calculate that. I don't know how to look into the future 40 years and know what inflation is going to do and what things are going to cost. So I don't know how much money a doctor needs, or a ditch digger, or a homeless person. But what I do know is that if you know what your expenses are, if you know what it costs you to live, and that's those utilities, mortgage, groceries, things like that. If you know what it costs you to live, then that's an easy number to calculate. You can write it on a piece of paper all year, or you can use Quicken like I did. That'll tell you what you spend to live. Then that's your number. That's one number. You try to create enough passive income that comes in, whether you're sleeping, working, or vacationing, and it covers those expenses. Then you are free to do whatever you want to do. That's that liberating freedom and control of your time. So, there's my friend Robert Kiyosaki has a board game called Cashflow, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
This is not an advertisement for that, but when you play Cashflow, you draw cards first to see who you are. And sometimes people will draw the doctor card with a big salary and they'll be pretty excited. Somebody will draw the janitor card, which has a really low salary. Well, there's good and bad to both sides, but the janitor has to create less passive income to match his expenses. Granted, he has probably less discretionary income to use. The doctor has more discretionary income, but has to create a much higher level of passive income. So it's different for everybody. It's the amount of your expenses, whether they're high or low. And then, if you'll allow me, there's also another level. There's what it takes you to live, and then there's what your expenses are to have a life. And that's the travel and the fun things for the kids, and doing what you want to do and enjoy your life. So that's my answer for how much people need, because the number's different for everybody. Yeah. But once your income comes in, independent of your actions and your time, you are free to do whatever you want. I tell people you can build your business bigger, travel the world, or sit on the couch and eat Cheetos and binge Game of Thrones. Whatever you want to do, it's your choice, because you're in control of your time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You kind of like painted the blueprint, actually, and that pretty much, I think that's good enough for anybody to look at and say that, okay, yes, this sounds like a blueprint to building the future that I want.
Well, and I'll tell you, and it sounds real simple, but I've talked to quite a number of people that I'm sort of helping along, and a lot of them don't know what they spend. And it's, the numbers will tell you the truth, right? Numbers don't lie. So
they don't lie.
Really write down what you don't have to write down every stick of gum that you buy, but you know what your big expenses are. And because money, particularly when you're making a reasonable salary, if you're a professional physician or anything like that, that salary hides some things. And so you really need to know what you do spend. And, sometimes that gives you a chance to maybe cut back for a little while if you wish. I'm a big fan of increasing your means rather than living within your means. But at least at the beginning, you need to know that number. You need to know where you are. And that's a huge help.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So how do you build an investment portfolio for long-term success from a physician perspective?
Yeah, I'd stay active in it. I'll tell you, as you said, I've been at this for 25 years. I've got properties that I bought 25 years ago. And, for those that say, well, man, that's 25 years of toilets and tenants, I can tell you, I haven't seen the inside of those properties for 25 years. I've got managers. So I keep those. Obviously, over time, they will pay themselves off, and you can refinance, which is a nice use of the velocity of money. Personally, I've got a little subset of stuff that I just let it pay off. And so it's fully paid for, which is not great money velocity, but it's a nice little safety net, so to speak. In case things go bad, I can always refinance, pull money out of it. Going forward, I try to create or invest in projects that are long-term and have cash flow that grows with inflation, that hedges inflation, which is what real estate does and hard assets tend to do.
Yeah.
not very little lasts for, 30 or 40 years. And I'm assuming I've hopefully got 30 or 40 years left to go. And so I tend to want to stay a little bit active, always looking for something to ladder on. If I've got what I think is going to be a 5-year investment or 5 to 7 years or whatever, I try to continually sort of ladder another one on top of that.
Okay.
So I'll always have the money working. And then over time they sell. They bring back larger capital appreciation. I will typically roll that forward to save the taxes if I can, or, occasionally pay the taxes. I try not to do that as much as I can, and use that money to buy, maybe I get enough money out of one deal where I can go buy 2 deals. And so I just kind of keep adding to the portfolio, always trying to add some sort of passive income, whether it's through real estate or something else.
Awesome. So the strategy is just to stay active.
I think so. Yeah. And it sounds like it sounds like, oh, well, I'm supposed to be free, right? Well, yeah, you still got to manage your money, and you still got to stay active. And I can tell you when, you may have X amount of dollars that covers your dollars or yen or rubles or whatever you're in, that covers your living expenses. Over time that rises, right? And so you gotta kind of keep up with inflation. Often your real estate will help you keep up with that, and your dollars will go along with the expense inflation. But I usually found in my case I had to add something extra just to make sure there was a surplus of passive income.